What about employing people as well, Mike? Do you enjoy having a team around you?
I'm very much, I'd like the people that are around me to say positive things because I'm saying it for myself here. But I'm very much a team leader. I like to I'm not saying I'm a control freak. I don't go into any situation thinking I know more than anybody else. I don't walk in and go, "You're doing it that way because I know it better than you." That's not true. What I do is I like genuinely. I've just taken on a new dealer principle, and the reason I have is because I want to surround myself with people cleverer than me. You know, he knows the motor trade much better than I do. He's a much smarter man than I am. I've got the entrepreneurial nous to create the business, but if I can employ people within that business smarter and cleverer than me, then the business is going to win and succeed, and we'll be able to pay everyone's wages. And that's proved right. He started 2 weeks ago, and we've sold 18 vehicles under his stewardship in 2 weeks. That decision proved right. So yeah, I like to take control. I do like a team around me. I do. The team do listen. You know that I come with a sense of authority. It's my money at the end of the day, and I do come with a sense of authority. And I'm a very much a. I don't know how you run your businesses, but I'm a very much process-driven car dealer. So I have a strict process that we follow. You know, everything that comes in goes through my process system of how we check them, how we rate them. Detailing, valeting, detailing, advertising, how to deal with a customer, the process of that, how to do after sales. It's all written down for it. So I make it almost idiot proof for the staff to follow my process. And I say, if you follow my process, it will work. Trust me, it will work. And it does. But they can change that. They can adapt and change it. I'm not saying that I'm right. They might be better than me. But yeah, it does work.
Can I get a copy of that, Mike? Of the
I
Bible?
was thinking, yeah.
Yeah, of course you can. I was going to say it's just being diligent with the stock. You know, we're only as good, and it's worth the audience knowing this. We're only as good, and I watch you do it all the time, Joe, as the cars that we buy. It's the selling the cars is always going to happen. You know, people always want cars, and that's always going to happen. But the process starts the moment you buy something or go to buy something. And it's how you buy a car in the first place dictates what happens to your business thereafter. So it's about from that moment, from the conception of why are you buying this car, and you do it correctly, Joe, when you're looking at your the retail rating for Auto Trader. Is it worth putting a car that's got a 2-point retail rating in stock? No, of course it's not. It's going to sit there forever. You're going to wear it like a coat, and you'll be staring at that thing getting mold, growing grass in the windowsills. You know, that's what you'll be doing. But if you, like I see the other day, what was it? Tucson, sorry, a Tucson going through the auction with you, and it had a retail rate of 98. Then you know that in your inbuilt process in your head. You know, I have to have that car. It sits in my stock, in my postcode. It's got a 98% retail rating. That car's going to sit in stock for less than a week. You know, if I can get that car back through my system of preparation, process, make sure it's got, I make sure that they got MOT, screen wash. If it's got a bullet hole in the windscreen and it's in the white pad, change it. Do it before it goes for sale. Get all this stuff done before we advertise it for sale, because what we want is the customer to walk in the door, pay for it and drive it away. That's what I want. That's how the business works, because it needs to be immediate. And so follow the process, get them through the system, get them advertised, knowing full well that as soon as somebody arrives, they have got the ability to take that car away immediately. And that's how you win.
That's interesting to hear, Mike, because we've had this discussion on a number of these podcasts about buying stock from auctions and bringing it back, throwing a bucket over it and taking photos and putting it up for sale straight away versus putting it in the corner, getting it through the process, then doing the whole walk around video photos, and when they come, they can take it away straight away. There's this fight between I put the money into it and let's make it sure everybody knows it's available straight away versus it's going to be a week or so before that's actually ready to put up for sale. So it's interesting to hear you say that you fully prep?
Well, because it's inevitably going to get done anyway. This is my mindset, and with the way that I want to run my business, is I say to my staff, it's inevitably going to get done anyway. So if I throw a bucket of water over it, take some pictures and stare it on the car site in the hope somebody's going to buy it, and when they do, then I'll run it through the system of PDI, MOT, changing the tyre, filling the screen wash, whatever it is. If I'm going to do that after, it bottles up my because we're selling so many cars, it gums up the system. Where if I get it done beforehand, because I know beforehand, it's done. So when a customer turns up and they open up the bonnet and pull a dipstick out, well, it's got fresh oil, it's got screen wash, there's no bullet holes in the windscreen, it's got 4 new wheels and tyres on it. Most of my vans do, and my vehicles do. They are in a position right there and then. I can pressurise them, and I don't, but we can pressurise them to say, do you want to take the car immediately? Do you want to take it away straight away? Because you can take it away straight away. And I would rather my business flowed like that. I can't sell a space occupied by a deposited car. I can't sell that space. I've only got a set number of spaces, and I need that space to be selling me cars constantly. So get them in, get them sold, get it gone, fill the space with another prepared car. That's the way it works.
You've got the utopia that I always say that I want to get to, because we got like a prep after kind of, not prep after, but some stuff will get done after. And I don't know, it's interesting because hearing it from you, Mike, and I've heard it from other people who have been really successful with car sales, and the majority of them have got this prep in advance. Even James, who you know obviously from Car Dealer Mag with Clever Car Collection, he's doing it all in advance, and he would do all the research when he spoke to Auto Trader, and they said even your advert will take a while to recover if you don't have good pictures to start off with, and then you add pictures later. The algorithm doesn't reward you. But it's interesting because how do you find?
Just change it, Joe.
What's that?
Just change your mindset, Joe.
Yeah.
Just change your mindset. I mean, at the end of the day, what does it cost? It's going to cost the same as it does at the other end. It's the same amount of cost, but you're just doing it first.
You know that's
all you're doing.
You'll know, obviously, Jamie Capel as well. I went and visited Jamie.
Well. Great dealer.
He's a great guy, yeah.
Great car dealer.
And we were having that same discussion. We were facing the same problems. He's got 300 cars, I've maybe got 30, 40. But we had everything was the same, but just on a different scale. And we were both talking about wanting to prep in advance. And he sort of said something that made me think about, there's more benefits as well. Because he's saying, if he's got a car there and he knows it needs a wing mirror cover, and he preps it in advance, he could order one from eBay and he can wait a few days while they're sorting out the wheels and they're sorting this. Whereas if he hasn't, he's got a customer who's turned up and they're desperate for that car. His only option is to pay 500 quid from the main dealer. And he's spending more money prepping in a hurry than he is if he preps it in advance at his own pace, getting the stuff that he wants.
I've done all the preparation in advance. The car is immaculate. The vehicle is ready to go. It's got a year's MOT or 11 and a half months MOT on it. It's got half a tank of fuel. All the headlights are working. It's got new tyres on it, new back box or whatever it needed. It was done. So it's sitting there. And I will say to that customer, find a reason for me to give you money off. Walk in the office and tell me because of this, I need money off because of this. And we'll talk about it. We'll talk about how much money I give you off. If not, I'll be honest with you, and I don't want to be brutal with customers, but I've said it and I'll say it today. I'll begin to work in a minute and I'll say it 20 times a day. It doesn't matter to me if you don't buy the car off me. Please go, if you want, go and find the same vehicle elsewhere. It doesn't matter because as soon as you go, I'm going to sell it to somebody else. There's always another person that you turned up to see this vehicle because it's attractive. So somebody else is going to find this vehicle attractive. If you don't want it, feel free to, I'm not forcing you to buy it, feel free to go and buy the same vehicle somewhere else. Because that's all you can find. You can't find any better. You can find the same, but you won't find any better than this. This is as good as it gets. I often have that argument with a customer. But, where deals are to be made with customers is with part exchange. You can give them a little bit more for their part exchange if we think we can go again and we can retail it, or it's got a trade profit in the part exchange. Or, a customer genuinely, they've turned up and I'm a softie, you know, they got three snotty kids around them, and they're talking about going on holiday down to Devon, and it would be nice if they could have a couple of £100 off just to make it a little bit better for them. Then, of course, you know, I'm a sucker for a doe eye, and I will inevitably. My you know, some of the staff, my staff, look at me and go, "You're too good. You're too good. You're too nice." To these people. But at the end of the day, as I say, I like people and I like making people happy. I will plead with them. I will say, look, you know, if I do this for you, go home, take one of my mugs, you know, take one of my free mugs, go home, make yourself a cup of tea, and spend 10 minutes just writing me a review online and tell people what you think of the experience. And you think about it, you know, for us, if somebody said to me, would you give £100 for a positive review? Of course I would. You know, anyone would. So to give a £5 mug and a tea bag and get them to write you a review is worth £100 to me, you know, easily. Because my business thrives off the reviews.
I've started giving gift packs away very recently, and I've got 100% hit rate on reviews. 100%. Normally I couldn't get them, but 100%. They're costing me like maybe 10, 12 quid. Yeah, and it's got a little barcode on the front of it. A company messaged me about doing it, and I thought I'll give it a go. Yeah, 100% hit rate. I've had a review off every single one.
If we've got car dealers out there listening to this and they're not doing this practice, just have another little practice in your head. Have a member of staff or do a something on your phone. You can talk to your phone these days and tell it to set you a reminder, and just give the customer a ring in a week's time. I know it's terrifying. For a car dealer, it's terrifying to ring your customer in a week's time and say, how's the car? In case they say it's a piece of crap. And it's terrifying. But it's not. It's not a piece of crap. You deal with it. Deal with any problems you've got. But phone the customer up and say, how's the car? Is there? I noticed you haven't left me a review. Is there? My business is going to succeed. I'm paying staff on my reviews. So please spend 5 minutes and write me a review. I'll tell you what, you do that, the next year, I'll give you a free MOT. Just something. It doesn't matter what you offer. Just give them something, because the review is worth more money to you than anything else, I promise.
Yeah. I've had that. People turn up and say, I'm here because of the reviews. Yeah, I was looking for somewhere local, read your reviews, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, I think we've all had that. And I'm going to take a leaf out of James Baggett of Car Dealer magazine. He's started with his sending out mugs with a tea bag in it, exactly like you said, Mike, and saying, you know, can you leave us a review? So I'm going to start doing that, just posting them out. Because he said if it costs him 10, 20 quid or whatever it costs us with the postage, like you say, it's well worth it. And I've had a bit of an epiphany while talking to you. You're saying about prepping the cars right, so they're 100%, and there's something nagging in the back of my head that I still want something to be able to negotiate with. But talking to you, saying, and I've done exactly the same, saying, if you don't want the car, don't worry about it. It's not a problem. You know, someone will buy it. It might not be for you, but it'll be for someone else. And there's no problem for me. Like you say, I don't need to make the sale. It's kind of a backwards way to think, but in reality, you don't, and you don't want the wrong customer. But when I have prepped them, and you know that car is the best one about, and like your cars at One Automotive, if you've really prepped it the best, and they say, well, I'm going to look at another one, I'll say, great, no worries. Well, we'll speak to you tomorrow, because I'm fairly confident that it won't be as good. And sometimes, you know, especially when they tell you the area they're going to go and look at it, you might know the garage maybe, and you're like, no problem, let us know how it goes, and if you're still interested, give us a shout. And you can almost guarantee they'll phone back the next day begging to buy it at your asking price.